you guys my experience, where I'm at and where I'm going. It was a normal Saturday afternoon, midday per se. That day, Tamir and Ty J wanted to go to the recreation kind of early that day. The recreation is Padilla Recreation Center. They offer free Wi-Fi, the gym for recreation play, and they also have an art room, which is open Monday through Friday. Unfortunately, it's not open on Saturdays. But that particular day, they wanted to use the Wi-Fi because I didn't have Wi-Fi at home at the time. So I usually let them go over to the recreation center to use the Wi-Fi. And that day it was some snow outside, but not much. So they was also playing in the park that day as well. So it was between the park and the recreation center, which is very close together.
No, that's right.
Tajay and Tamir came home about 2 o'clock that day for lunch. I told them to stick together. They had turkey sandwiches and apples and oranges and water, and I gave them money to go to the store to get chips and juice. So they was just as fine. I say about 3 o'clock, about 3:15. I get a knock at the door from 2 of the neighborhood kids. Could have been 2 kids playing at the rec. That the Cleveland police just shot my son twice. I was in very much denial. My 16-year-old son that was laying on the couch, I guess he heard it in the young man's voice that, this was not like a joke or anything. So he zoomed out the house past me without a coat on, just his shoes. And I'm like, no, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. My kids is at the park playing. So as I get dressed and walk towards the park, which is right across the street from my house, my son was laying on the ground. And I tried to go for him, and I was trying to charge at the police, trying to get to my son, and they told me to calm down or they would put me in the back of the police car. As I look at my son and I see my daughter, she's in the back of the police car handcuffed. And I look to the right of me, I see 8 police officers surrounding my 16-year-old. At that time, I asked the officer to let my daughter go because she was only 14 at the time. They gave me an ultimatum that day to either go with Tamir or to stay with the 14-year-old. So of course I went with Tamir, and I sat in the front of the ambulance like I was a passenger. I don't know who rode in the back with my son. That was the most horrific day of my life. Sending 2 children out to play that day and only one coming home. That's a pain no mother or father should have to endure. So I am in a struggle, a fight with the law enforcement, the government right now on accountability for Tamir's murder. The struggle has been quite so real for me. I would think that, or I was thinking that the prosecutor was actually on my side after being thrown into this situation again. I was just really thrown into this situation. I was kind of oblivious what was going on in America until it happened to my son. And I was just raising kids, trying to go to school and raising my children to be American citizens. But when I was thrown into this situation, I came out with a lot of rage and anger, and I decided to speak about social justice and just continue to continue to fight for justice for Tamir. We are still having some issues in America, more issues that I can never imagine with the police killing unarmed citizens, majority black. And also just killing Americans, period. You know, at this point, it really don't matter what race you are. But I just know that when it comes to black and minorities, just period, it's just too much killing. And I'm here to see if I can change some of the laws in America so we can be safe.